All right, we're ready to get started.
Okay. Well, it started about when I was about 11 years old, and my sisters, who were twins, Lucille and Patience, were 13, and my father decided that they went as hard as they could in school of books, so he was sending them to Jamaica to finish in school. So they have left me alone. There were hardly any kids around there because the house that these people lived in are rented. The people who lived there, Ingalls, had left. That was Miss Ingle and Mrs. Ingle and two daughters, one Blanche and Evelyn. Evelyn claimed we were black because we drank coffee. And Ingle was half white. He I think he thought, and that's who he works for. He works for his half brothers, and they had a nice business there. And Mrs. Enger never could never leave the house. She never even go outside. She waited until he comes home. He would bring the water in and she would wash the clothes, and then he would hang them up in the yard to dry. And once they're dry, she never put her foot out of that house. We don't know how they got her to go, how they left the house, because they left the house from Pointine went to Coventry. I think she died or something like that. Anyway, so they had that, it was a little house, you call it a cottage, like. So he said, Blanche and Evelyn had gone, Lucille and Patience had gone, and there were no other young people there but me. So I was just lonely. So I don't know when the Casanovas rented this house, but they seemed to have, it was a little cottage, had one bedroom and a porch, a kitchen, a dining room, and the living room. So I used to go there every evening and have supper with them. You would have tea, rice and beans, bread, and that's what we would have. And I thought it was the greatest thing there was. My sister Carmen, who was 20 years older than I, raised us, and when it coming out to food, we didn't get any. Just enough to keep the body and soul together. And so I would go by there and Dingus must have known, because I'd go by there every evening and have supper with them. And then when I come home, we would have a cup of tea and a slice of bread. That was our supper. And so, after they left, I went to Jamaica, and the Ingalls left and went to country. I was there by myself. So I was walking up and down the street. We didn't know when these people moved in this new cottage, the cottage. Right alongside the cottage was Miss Ida they had a beautiful, beautiful um, rose garden. All color roses, and it was so beautiful. So I used to go by to admire it, look at it, and admire it. And so this woman saw me one day, and she said, come here, come here. And so I went to her. She said, would you like some orange juice? And greedy me said, yes. I'd love some orange juice. So she said, will you please come in. So on the table in the living room, the living room was a half size of this room, which was a half size, was a glass bowl and the orange juice. It was the orange juice. So she filled a little tumbler and gave it to me. I drank that down. And she asked me, do I want some more? And I said, yes. And I had another tumbler. I don't know what happened to me. And I think they put me out of the house. And I kind of walked myself down, all the way down to the point. And then I started to throw up. And I went by the lagoon. And I sat down there. And you met her.
Who?
Her name is, I forgot her name.
Maria?
Huh?
Maria? Your cousin?
Yeah, I believe that was her. And she saw me there vomiting, and she said, what is wrong with you? I says, I don't know. She said, you drunk. Where did you get this liquor? I said, I didn't drink any liquor. I drank some orange juice. And she said, well, where'd you get that? And I told her that Miss Ida's bungalow, that they had rented to this couple. So she's going to get her mother. Her mother came and washed my face and gave me some water and tried to make me drop some more so I could drop everything off. And eventually she took me in and she left. She said, they're gone. She said, are you sure? I said, yes, they were right there by the nose. Those people, they were gone. She said, because I was going to call the police on them.
Oh my goodness. So when she went down to confront the lady had already they moved away.
And how they left, they had a boat.
Oh.
The boat, and they went in the boat. They didn't come by land. They come by boat. So they figured they probably live in Rama, or they thought this is what they were exploring, looking for teenagers.
Oh, wow. You could have picked up
But
or
no,
something.
I was only 11 years
11
old.
years old. Oh, okay.
So,
Oh my goodness. Even way back then.
yeah.
Lord have mercy.
So,
Wow.
they took me, so with that, they took me away from Tita. I was living with Tita.
Okay.
But Tita was old.
Oh, yeah.
And so they told me that my father took me away from Tita to I live with Wawa. That is with Dale's mother.
Oh, Wawa's Dell's mother. Okay.
Wawa, yeah. Well, I stayed with Wawa. He was paying her, I don't know how much he was paying her, but I was working. She put me to work. The only thing I like about it, we get up around 4 o'clock in the morning, get in the canoe, and go all the way out till we couldn't see the lagoon. We couldn't see the land at all. Couldn't see the pointing cotton old bank. And then they found the oyster bed. And I had to stay in the boat. And they would get out and told me to look with the machete, if I see any stingray, to chop them. And so they pick oysters and pick oysters and pick oysters. And what I like when time to eat, they would have the rice and beans and the, oh good Lord, some best dinner. Rice and beans and shrimps. The shrimps were dry shrimp, stewed, delicious. And these even delicious meat.
What about oysters? Did you?
Well, no, we bring the oysters and they in the lagoon they made a bed, and made a bed. But my father came and told us not to eat the oysters because you see where the bed was, the toilet you have a shape like an E.
Okay.
There was Old Bank and Old Bank over here,
Okay.
pointing here where we live, and Cotton Tree.
Oh, okay.
So, well, the Old Bank, all the toilets would come like this. Out, jet out and come in, and jet out and comes in, and jet out. And all the jets out were toilets over the lagoon. And as I was telling Fraser, we didn't mind bathing in the toilet, in the bathroom, because that's where we had the bed. But Northwestern, around December, November, December, January, when we had the Northwestern, and the toilet were built over the lagoon, and the slats were not closed in together. They were like, and that breeze come right through the slat, and then we had to bathe there, and the best thing of it was we got the water from a well, and the water was kind of warm. But Stanley was living with their mother, and as I was, excuse me, she would send him to bed, and he would come back out. Oh, he's really bathing. And she went one day. She said, I don't think he bathed. And she went one day, and listen, and he had dashy water with the calabash, pour the water out of the tub with the calabash, push against the wall. I guess I'm glad you didn't get me. I'm glad you didn't get me.
With the calabash full of water, he's throwing it up against the wall.
Yeah, against the wall, and he's saying, I'm glad you didn't get me. So she opened the door and said, I'll get you.
That's the kind of bath Marcus used to take, yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So as I said, when we come back, my father told us not to eat the oysters because the toilets were over the water, and right next to the toilet, and the shed for the canoe was um, what they call some kind of tree, and they harbor the stool and things on the. And when they have high tide, goes out.
Oh.
And so we never, from then on to this day, I don't eat
You
oysters.
don't eat oysters, yeah.
I hate oysters. But, and, yep.
So so you live with Dell and I guess with
But, yeah, but I tell you,
Wawa and Dell, right?
Uh-huh.
You live with Wawa, and then her daughter Dell lived there, and Uncle Stanley lived there. And you were about what, 11 years old when you lived there?
Yeah.
And how long did you live there with them?
I lived there, let me see. I didn't live there. Oh, I think I was 13. They took me out of the school in the Anglican school and put me in the convent school.
Oh, so you went to the Catholic school? I didn't know
Yeah,
that. Okay.
Catholic school.
Why did they take you out of the Anglican school?
I don't know why, but I know one thing. I went to the
Convent?
Catholic school, and I stayed up there near the Catholic school with a girl, a Chinese girl named Beulah. Beulah was married to, Beulah was, grandfather was a black man, and she was married to a half Chinese guy also, but he was kind of like to run around, and she had a hard time with him. Beulah, I stayed with Beulah, I don't know for how long, until my mother came. They came, and after, Kerry Miller went to Kerry Miller had sent his wife and daughter child to Jamaica also. And so when my father had to come from Corn Island and
take over at St. Mark's.
take the services from first Sunday to third Sunday, then from Rama would come Reverend Brown, and Brown would take it from third Sunday to fourth Sunday. And if they have fifth Sunday, then he would take it. Then my father come back again on first Sunday.
Oh.
And
So they were coming back and forth from Corn Island.
yeah. So what happened? What they did was, at the same time, Carmen could not control
Lucille?
Lucille. Couldn't control
In Jamaica.
Lucille.
She was in Jamaica with them, right? She was in Jamaica with them?
But Carmen was their chaperone.
Right.
God, Carmen was about 18 years older than them.
Right.
And she was finishing school and whatnot. So she went out to take care of them. Well, she put them in, she didn't put them in boarding school. She rented an apartment and had them stay with her in the apartment. But she couldn't control Lucille. So
What was Lucille doing?
Lucille would run around instead of going to school. She'd be running around with some guy or the other. She was about what, 14, 15 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah, and doing what was not, instead of going to class, she did not go to class. So Carmen wrote my father and told him that she could not control Sylvia.
Lord help us. It's not me or Sylvia, right? Lucia.
And she was going to send Lucia back home.
Oh, wow.
So, no, to come back, she had to come through Cologne. And now to come back through Cologne, you got to have $80
Tax? Or?
to give when you come in.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pay $80. And when you're leaving, because you will take the grade the $80, I'm going to leave in a month's time, I'm going to leave in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to leave in 1 week time. You have to go back and get your $80 and leave. Well, Lucy Carmen told Lucy, okay, here is the $80 you have to give to Cologne. The authority in Cologne when you get there. But when you get the $80 back, I want you to get what you call it, a receipt and send it back to me. 'Cause I need that money. Yes. Well, she didn't send a penny back to Carmen. She took the money and told them she was leaving. She was leaving like 3 days or 4 days. She went and got the money. And she went $80 and nowadays it was a lot of money. She bought more clothes than the Lord. And never sent a penny back to Carmen. Never sent a penny back. So Carmen wrote my father and told Lucy took the $80 and never sent back. Well, Lucy came, and the next thing you know, she said to me, every Wednesday evening we have evening prayer, and we got to go. She said to me, we ain't going to no evening prayer, let's go Old Bank. So we left. Guess who my mother blamed? Me.
You.
Lucy was 15 years old.
She was older than you.
And I was 13.
Right.
But so, the Sunday was harvest that was harvest day, where people would bring the corn and pineapple and cane and goats and horses and cows all into the church. And they call that harvest day, and like you call that
Thanksgiving.
What?
Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving, right. They had it called. So, this lady had made a dress, and that Sunday I saw the dress. I said to my mother, I'd like that dress. Would you buy that dress for me? And she said to me, yes, I will. My new Lucy had just come from Cologne, where she spent $80 buying all them clothes and things from in Cologne and came. Well, I don't know what it was, but my mother said to me that Monday morning, why don't you stay home and fix breakfast? I said, I can't fix breakfast. Yes, you can. Just, we had a girl that comes in and help her, what's her name, fix the breakfast. And when we come home, and so I said to her, okay, remember to buy the dress. Oh, yeah, I remember to buy the dress. Well, when they came home, guess who wore the dress?
Lucille.
Lucille had the dress. So I said, Mama, I thought I asked you to buy me the dress. She said, well, you didn't come. I said, but you told me not to come. You told me to stay home. I had murder was in the honey with the breakfast. And then you went ahead and bought the, well, Lucy took the dress and I didn't feel like taking it away from her. And so my father says, why not? You bought the dress especially for Lucille. You know that when he had asked you to buy the dress more than once, and you bought it just for Lucille. Why? I didn't buy it for Lucille. Lucille bought the dress herself. So that was the end of that.
Oh, man.
Well, I that was that, and then we went on, and then we went down to Cartagena. We went to Colón. My father got decided to take a sabbatical. He had Herbert, who was about 18 years old, 18 or 19, he had sent to Cartagena, but he sent every kid he had except me until I was 18.
Then he sent you to Panama, right?
Yeah. He sent Herbert to Cartagena to go to school and to become a doctor. Well, he had to go to school first and then study to become a doctor. And after he got his degree, then he started to become a doctor. Well, he got his degree and he was studying to become a doctor. Well, my father got a call, a letter from Cartagena saying that he was not going to school, he was playing the field, drinking, and so my father decided, well, there was a good time for him to take a sabbatical. And he decided we'd go to Cartagena to see what Herbert was doing.
Okay, and you told that story before. We had that one.
Yeah.
We had that one.
Okay.
So that was you, your mother, your father, and
Lucille
Lucille.
and me.
Right. Okay. And at this time, Carmen was still in Jamaica with patients, right?
Yeah, Carmen was in Jamaica. And by the time we got to Colón, we left Cartagena, Carmen left Jamaica because Patience had graduated.
So what did Patience do after she graduated from finishing
Well,
school?
after she graduated, she left Jamaica and went to the place that I went to on your father.
Oh,
Belize.
Belize. Oh.
She went to Belize and became a principal there
Oh.
and an organist. And she stayed there in Belize. And in the meantime, I think, no, I'm getting ahead of my story. I think what Carmen did was put her in a boarding school. And Carmen left and came to New York. And she said, when she came to New York, there were Timothy and Ruby living together.
Okay.
And she told them, get married. And they did. Well, after she left New York, and she did not like New York. After she left New York, she went to Cologne because all my mother's family was in Cologne. So she went to Cologne, and when we came back from Cologne, we met her in Cologne. And that was 34, I think. I did, maybe
Yeah,
more
because you were
than
about
34.
14. You were about 14, 15.
Yeah.
And so, so going back to Patience. So Patience was in Belize.
The patient didn't believe, yes.
So she was what, maybe about what, 16?
No, she was older than that. Because I was 23, and so she must have been 25.
Okay, you're skipping way up. So I was talking about when they left Jamaica. When Patience left Jamaica, she was probably what, about 16 years old?
No, when she left Belize, she was about 18.
When she left Jamaica?
When she left Jamaica, I went to Belize. I became a principal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She was young, though, still.
And, oh yes, she was
She's smart, though.
very smart.
Yeah, she's smart.
Very, very smart. And ambitious.
Yeah, and studious. And, she put her head to the grind, yeah.
Yeah, so,
Not like her twin sister, right? They were very much opposites.
well, then at the time I got married, I got married. And that's another, I never really tell that story.
Which one?
About when I got married and what happened to Yvonne.
Yeah, you told that story.
I told her.
We had that story.
Well, I went and she came to New York to stay with me for a couple of days. And for some reason, Patience was a good eater. And I would try to fix food I know she liked to eat. And she would just pick at it. And I said to her, what is wrong with you? You don't eat anymore like you used to. She said, I don't know. I don't have any appetite. So this was around the 2nd of July. So I said to her, I think she was leaving on the 5th to go back to Belize. I said to her, I said, well, Patience, I tell you what, I take you to I have a chest x-ray and things taken of you because I don't like the way you eat and don't like the way you look. So, but when I went to the public place to take they were closed. And they were not on the open until after the 4th. But she's leaving. So I told her, I said, well, you leave then. You got to leave. And she left. She left. Then she wrote me and told me that she went to the doctor there and they took a chest x-ray and they found out she had TB. And I told you all the rest of that story, right?
Right.
Yeah.
She had TB and about your father exhausting his savings to take care of her in the sanitarium. Yeah, you told us about that. So what part of Jamaica did she study in? Do you remember? Was she in Kingston? What part of Jamaica were they in?
Kingston.
They were in Kingston.
Yeah. It was very nice. And so Karen Miller died when he was there. So my father had to take over. I think he did the same thing. But the only thing It didn't bother me. It's traveling from Corn Island to Bluefields
On the boat?
in a little sailboat traveling about 40 miles of open sea.
Yeah.
And then my mother would just go when she had to.
Right.
And, I mean, the boat would go up in the air as high as the sea
Ooh.
and come down whop.
Well-
The only good thing about it, they did try to travel near Keys,
Okay.
so that if any, on which a boat did turn over, and they were near the key, a key, not too far. They were about 6 miles or 4 to 6 miles away from the key, and they had good swimmers.
Yeah. So you could.
But the guy and then they had bad swimmers, and this guy would swim to the boat, try and get somebody and take him to the Keys, and go back and go back and go back
Oh,
and go back.
wow.
And he got so tired, he drowned.
Oh my goodness.
He drowned. And so with that, they had about 4 or 5 people drowned.
Oh my goodness. How scary. How horrible. So that's why your mother didn't. She was when your mother was on Corn Island. That's why she stayed on Corn Island, right?
Yeah. And when she went to Blue, she stayed in Blue.
She stayed in Bluefields. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he drowned. That's the first time that's the first accident I believe I heard of.
Oh, okay.
And knew that this man did try. And they said, I don't know how they know, but a Chinese man had a sack full of all kind of junk. And they told him to empty the sack and use the sack as a buoy. No, he wasn't going to empty no sack. Because that was his adults. So they thought, okay, you drowned him. We are not taking you with that full sack. No, you empty it and you use it as a buoy to help you go to the key. Or you stay out there and drown.
What did he decide?
When he might have not drowned.
Yeah.
He might have not drowned.
Yeah, really.
So it was but it wasn't too bad. I didn't mind traveling on that boat.
Did you know how to swim?
I was stupid.
Did you know how to swim?
Oh yes, I knew how to swim. They named her and her mother and his mother. I did not know to swim. And her and his mother said, you live here on this island. And you're surrounded by water, right at the bottom. You're going to learn to swim. So I said to them, I know to swim. No, you don't. You can keep a little float in the, but you have to have you don't have energy to stay a long time. So what they did, they put me in a canoe. Now we see in the reef in Corn Island, you have a reef that goes all around the island. So you don't have to worry about sharks and they coming in because the reason there is keep them from coming in. So they went as far as the reef and they dumped me overboard. And they said, come on, swim ashore.
That's how you learn to swim.
And
That's how you learn to swim.
that's how I learned to swim. I thought my father got so mad at them. They said, we were trying to help your daughter in case anything happened to the island. She was unable to swim and get herself out of it. He understood.
Wow.
But it was a horrible, oh Lord.
And who were those people?
Huh?
Who were those people?
The mother and son.
Earl was the son.
Huh?
Earl was the son.
Yeah, Earl was the son.
Who was the mother?
I forget,
Yeah.
Mabel. I think either Mabel or Table, something.
Were lobsters, when you were little, were lobsters so big on Corn Island the way they are now?
The what?
Lobsters, were they the big, fish on Corn Island, the big crop on Corn Island when you were little? Because now everybody, they're known for their lobsters. Were lobsters big like that when you were little on Corn Island? Lobsters.
What's that?
The like lobsters, like the crab, lobsters.
No, crab.
Lobsters, like when we went to Corn Island, lobsters were the big product there. People would go and they would dive for lobsters and sell lobsters. And
Oh no.
when you were little, were lobsters big?
No, we do the Corn Island. I don't know when Corn Island got on the map. I don't know when. I know one thing. I wasn't there. Corn Island
So you didn't eat lobsters when you were a kid? Did you?
No.
You didn't eat lobsters? Okay.
Eat what? Eat?
Lobsters.
Oh, lobster.
Yes.
Yeah, we ate that lobster. Oh yeah. You remember when you went there?
Yeah, it was huge when we
But
went
it
there.
wasn't like that.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
And they didn't call it lobster.
They call it something different?
They called them something else. And they were tough. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm telling you, it was Corn Island. I always loved that place. Not enough to go back. I didn't like it that much. I liked that, but it has changed so much. They have right now. They have cars. You can walk around the island in 10 hours. What do you need car for?
Yeah.
Because my father we used to walk with him and we'd walk around the island because he would go once a month to give the shut-in communion. And so we would go with him and we, as soon as they see him coming, they run out to their yard to catch a chicken to kill it, catching a cocoa chicken for my father. But my mother would not eat it. She said she does not eat any hen, any chicken that run around the yard, and then you got to tie that chicken up for at least 2 weeks. I'm feeding nothing but corn. Because people, they don't have toilets.
Right.
And so, with that, and like iguana.
Y'all used to eat iguana?
Huh?
You used to eat iguana?
Oh, my father loved iguana. He ate iguana all the time, but Mama wouldn't cook it. So it had to go.
And you ate sea turtle too, right?
Oh, sea turtle was delicious. I love sea turtle. Sea turtle. Then the ships are coming and blow up
Yeah, to blow the fish up. We talked about
get
that.
and we'd have fish, and they would salt the fish down and hang them out to dry. And you have saltfish all year round. Because most of the time there is no fish.
Oh wow. Okay.
They
Now
they don't catch any fish.
Got you.
Yeah. Well, that is part of the story.
Well, you did pretty good. As you've already been talking for just about an hour.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's 5 minutes to 4. It's getting there.
Oh, my goodness.
Well,
Well-
quickly, for the last part, tell what the story you were telling about the Uncle Stanley's, what was it, a cleaner's? No, it wasn't a dry cleaner. It was a tailor shop, Uncle Stanley's tailor shop in Harlem, where you said Uncle Byron worked and Dad went to work there.
Oh,
Yeah, you were talking.
yeah. But after Stanley came to New York, he got a shop. Milton got a shop. Milton sent him upright. My father sent all his children to some school, excepting me. Well, he sent Jack, Milton, Stanley to apprentice school to learn to do tailoring. They could make a suit. And so, after they finished with their apprenticeship, Milton decided that he's going to leave and come to New York. So he left, and he started working in a Jew tailor shop. And the Jew told him, he says, "You have a good tailor, you have a good
Businessman?
businessman, why don't you open up your own shop?" He says, "Don't open near me, but open it a little further up, so we can have more than one. Because I can't handle all of him anyway." So that's exactly what he did. So after he opened his shop and the business flourished, so he decided to send for Stanley. So Stanley came, and Stanley worked with him for a while, and eventually Stanley got his own shop. So Stanley got the shop on, what's that, Fifth Avenue?
I thought it was in Harlem.
Yeah, he got in Harlem on Fifth Avenue, or one of those. Anyway, on the big shop, he got the shop there. Well, but Stanley claimed that when he got his shop there, and 40 years later, I guess, the same people, the generation, people, all was on welfare. Nobody got off welfare. Well, Stanley, after Byron went to college in New Orleans and came to New York and got a job as
A food inspector. Right?
food
With
inspector.
the city.
Then he worked from 8 in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, Stanley had his shop on Madison Avenue.
Madison Avenue.
And Stanley had his shop on Madison Avenue. Well, Byron worked there with Stanley, and then Byron got the bright idea that he put a counter, a glass counter, and got some trinkets like little earrings and chains and rings, not expensive things, and put in the shop. And then he worked there, and that was his part of the shop. But he was in front, and Sandy was in the back cleaning and pressing.
And Byron just came on the weekends, right?
And Byron was the one that stayed in the front.
On the weekends.
Uh-huh. And then eventually, I said to Milton, to Stanley, I said, would you give my husband a job? I said, he's off on Saturdays, and he had nothing to do. He said, yeah, tell him to come down. So he would go down on Saturdays and work with them. He worked in the front also, but he would just take write up the write up whatever the clothes the guy maybe a suit, write up the color suit,
Okay.
what has to be done to the suit and so forth. Because sometimes Mr. Sandy would call me and ask me would I run them, because when he did a present, they would straight, and he need to sew the back up. And would I stitch them back for him? And I did. So when I asked him for the job for my husband, he had to give him, because he knew if he didn't, then I would.
You wouldn't be helping him out.
That's right. So, Byron slapped that poor man, deaf, dumb, and blind. And Herman says he would take the money in, and they didn't have it at the register. That in a coat pocket. A coat hang up in the closet, and there the money was.
Oh.
And Sandy would go there. Byron would go get the change. One for you, two for me. Two for you and one for me. And that's the way he do it. Herman says, well, none of my business. If Stanley wants, he must know that Byron is cheating him. But if you like it, I love it. So the guy said, this guy said, that came that morning to bring clothes to be cleaned. And Herman had to write them up. He had a lot of people standing waiting in line to get right up. So one guy said, that guy is as slow as molasses running up a hill in the winter.
Talking about my dad?
Yeah. Slow as molasses running up a hill in the winter. But the other man had a good job there. He said $10 was feed us for the week.
Wow. Because he made $10 a day just working on a Saturday.
That's right.
And they were closed on Sunday, right?
Right. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Closed on Sunday, and eventually the project came, and they had to leave because they were tearing down all those old buildings. Oh God, there was a mess. I told him we got to get out of Harlem. I am sorry, but I just could not raise my kids. They are the supermarket right across the project, and these two guys were fighting. And when you look, one of the guy's eyes was almost down his chest. Oh God, I said, no, we gotta go.
Yeah.
We can't live here.
And
He
you
got
said,
to
and you
get
said
out of
also
here.
Uncle Stanley got robbed, right?
Huh?
You said Uncle Stanley got robbed.
Oh, the guy knew they went when he would call them, who them what you want, who them what you need, idiot or whatever, whatever thing come to his mind. He called them and they got mad, but he said they were because they didn't get to have a job. They were on welfare, and so they came in one night when Sunday closed. They took all when he came back the next day, all the pipes, copper pipes were all gone. His, he, his clothes was all scattered all over the floor. Oh my, it was a mess. And that was the end of that. So he just decided to leave.
To close down.
Milton told him, that's the first thing you do. The next thing will be you. So you better get out of Harlem.
So did he retire?
Huh?
Did Stanley retire?
No, he went with Milton
Oh, okay.
up in the Bronx.
Oh, Milton was in the Bronx. Oh, okay.
Yeah. He worked with Milton.
All right. Okay, well, that's good. I think that's enough for today. Wow. That was good.